Let's talk about money. Hi everyone, I am here today to talk about everyone's favorite topic, and that is money. My objective is to reveal a blueprint of 5 principles that were conveyed to me, and they are about how to make wealth. So these 5 principles are very simple. They're easy to apply. They will not cost you a thing, and you can start building your great fortune while you listen to my presentation. My name is Rossana Giannini. I hold a law degree from Monterrey College of Law. I'm the former interim associate director of the Monterrey Small Business Development Center, though I work right now at the Small Business Development Center in the Silicon Valley. My specialty is tax compliance and legal formation of business. I'm a Quickbooks Pro advisor. I am the founder of the Circle of Women Monterrey, and I am happily married. However, my life was not always this. I was born in Santiago de Chile, at a time where my country was isolated by civil war. Can you imagine living in a country where no TV programs are allowed? I was 13 years old when the first TV show was allowed, and it was just a cartoon, the same cartoon, over and over, day and night. The universities were not allowed to teach careers. You were not allowed to leave your home after 6 p.m. People had money. It was just a blank paper that had no value. The government had print and print and print so many bills that there was nothing to support that wealth. When you go to a store, the shelves of the store were empty. You could not find food to purchase. I grew up with my grandparents, and my grandfather had a shoe repair business. All right, let's talk about money. The 5 principles that I'm going to talk to you today were conveyed to me by my grandfather, who had to invent himself from nothing to great wealth. I told you that he was a shoe repair. Well, during the time of war, the imports and exports were not allowed. Well, nobody could buy brand new shoes. So the only solution for people was to repair the shoes. So what did my grandfather do? He went to the highways and found tires that were blown and torn on the side of the highway. He grabbed those tires, used the rubber of the tires, sliced it, and patched shoes. He had a great business, and we made great money, and I thought we were very wealthy. So my grandfather taught me, in order to make money, you first need the M. The M for money, the M stands for map. Well, Rosanna, are you telling me that I need a map? Well, I call it map, but the business people call it a business plan. If you don't know where you're going, you better don't go anywhere. People purchase business plans from websites, and they don't work. You cannot assign your goals to anyone. You have to be able to write your own goals. Other people have business plans that are about 30, 150, 20 pages long. They don't work either. Put it in one page. If you can narrow down your plan for your business to one page and post it on your computer or post it on your refrigerator and look at it every morning and see it. Where am I today? Where I want to go? How long will it take me? And what is the result? Look at it, because if you don't look at it, your plan every day, nobody will. Stick to your plan. Let me give you an example. I have a client, her country is actually isolated by civil war right now, and she's on the verge of a divorce, and her business is failing. She she no longer has access to loans and nobody is buying from her business. So I visited her recently and she just needs money and she's desperate. And I look at her and I said, you need a plan. I mean, come on, Rossana, I need money. No, you need a plan. Everything is failing in your life right now, but if you can write what is your goal for tomorrow and your goal for next month and your goal for a year, you can plan ahead. You will know what you're achieving, and at least you have one certainty that you are achieving what you decide to achieve. All right, let's go to the second principle of how to build money, is the O. O, I call it as own it. And this comes to heart because it's the legal compliance. You need to become the legal owner of your business venture. Either you decide to be a sole proprietor, one person owner with the IRS, or you decide to be a corporation, a for-profit, a not-for-profit, an LLC, an S-Corp, a C-Corp. I don't care. That's just different sizes. You need to own it. You need to be on a legal document, assign your name to that. Then get a business license to your name. Get a bank account to your name. Register your fictitious business name. Go to the trademark office. Register your invention. Patent your ideas. Let me give you an example. This is my mother. Before I left my country in Chile, I had a business, and I started a school for children with speech disabilities. This is a wonderful school. I put my mother as the director, and she made great wealth with it. Well, in time, she thought, I'm going to open a second school, and I'm going to double my wealth. So she rented a house not too far from the first school, and she had a contract for 1 year with the owner of the house. In the first year, she redo everything in the house. She painted, she changed the roof, changed the floors, transformed that house into a school. And she invested all the money she had saved. At the end of that 1 year, the landlord came and he saw his house completely renovated, and he said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to renew your contract. And my mother had to leave. She lost all her investment. So what she needed to have done was to have a contract with that landlord for at least 10 years. If she's going to invest so much money, she didn't have her name in a lease that will allow her to stay and to profit from her investment. So own it not only talks about having your name in the business, but also own every legal right to function and to develop your business. Let's go to the third principle, the N. The N talks about the necessities. Well, this is a very important one. How much money do you need? Do you know your cost? What do you mean by that, Rossana? Well, if I have a grandiose idea and I would like to build a high-end resort in Hawaii, just saying, do I know how much that will cost me to do that? To buy the land, to build a hotel, to put the spa, to hire the people, to do the permits, the marketing. The cost analysis is such an important analysis to start your small business and be successful at making money. Many people start their business ventures and they really have no idea how much it's going to cost them. So on one hand, the cost analysis, you can do it with software. I use Quickbooks. You can use a piece of paper and start writing down what are the costs. Or the other part of the necessities is, okay, once I know how much will it cost me, is do I have access to that money? Do I have access to that capital? Is it feasible for me to purchase all the things I need to start my business? Who can lend me money? Where can I find it? Be aware of banks that they would require so much. Before you are in business, you need to prove income, you maybe go another route. Angel investors, well, Shark Tanks, people like that, those are great, but they will take a cut, a portion of your invention in exchange. And if you don't have a proven track record, the banks will probably not lend you enough. Well, maybe are your savings enough to start? So this analysis of the necessities is so important before to start a business that I really, really want you to put an emphasis on the cost analysis. Let's go to the fourth principle, the E, the entrepreneur. Is your business idea a necessity of the market? Will someone be willing to buy what you are offering? Well, if there are no sales, there's no business. You need to find your niche of opportunity. Let me give you an example. I created my clown business when I was 17 years old in my country that was isolated by war. People needed to be happy. I grew up with my grandfather in his shoe repair business, thinking that we were so wealthy. So I was happy, but the rest of the country was not happy. We had about 3 million people either dead or disappeared or left or fled the country, and people were saddened. There was so much division. So I decided to be the most beautiful princess clown. And because I'm afraid of clowns. So I decided to be a beautiful one and to bring happiness. In 5 years, I became the biggest production company in the country. People were thirsty for buying happiness. So it was a business idea that was filling up a necessity of the market. Everyone wanted to buy happiness, and there was I offering the opportunity to laugh. All right, and let's go to the why. This is the last of the 5 principles, but I would say probably the most important. I have conveyed so far all these principles in an order, but it's not that you need to have them in that same order. In fact, you have to have them at the same time. But if there's one principle that you can have it before as the number 1, is the why. What does that mean? Why? It's why are you doing this? Is the business venture that you're going to engage in your life purpose? Is your business something that you're willing to stand and brand yourself to it? Are you willing to become your own brand, live this 24/7? Are you willing to show to the world that you believe in yourself? When you are living your life purpose while you're doing your business, working is not working anymore. People are paying you to do what you love. Remember when I was a clown? I thought I was on the top of the world. People pay me to dress up like a princess. I would go to their houses. They treat me like royalty. They offer me birthday cake. The kids will fill me with kisses. They pay me to dance and to laugh. And then when I was leaving, they give me a tip and I go home with money. To me, that wasn't a job. To me, it was my pleasure. So let me give you an example. I had another client who came to my office to start his coffee shop. Great. So when he showed up to my office, I said, I come from South America. I have 3 brands of coffee, one from Guatemala, one from Colombia, one from Peru. Which one would you like to try? I know you're starting your coffee shop. Let me treat you. And he looked at me and says, I don't like coffee. I'm sorry. I thought you were coming here to start your coffee shop. Yeah, but I don't like coffee. So why are you starting a coffee shop if you don't like coffee? Well, it's not for me, it's for my wife. Okay, so your wife likes coffee. It's just that she watches TV all day and she sits at home and I want her to do something. Well, clearly, the coffee shop in that case was not his life purpose, neither was the life purpose of his wife. It could have worked, but it might not. And let me give you another example of another client who is developing a skincare product for her acne. She walked into my office one day and she said, I used to have acne and I developed this skincare product and I love it. And if you try it, your skin will be beautiful like mine. And I jumped off my chair and I gave her a big hug and I said, you might not have any of the other 4 principles, but you have the why. You stand by your product. You believe in yourself. You believe in what you're creating. You will be very successful. So today I have conveyed the 5 principles that were given to me by my grandfather. Create a map, business plan, 1 page, own your business, get an analysis of the cost, have an entrepreneurial idea that someone is willing to buy, and be that idea your life purpose. You can do it. I believe in you. Go now and fly with golden wings. Create your wealth and your great fortune today. If I could do it, you can do it too.